So what's ahead for 2019 and how are you going to navigate it? Well, as we come out to the close of 2018, it's really important that you start to think about getting plenty of listings on for next year. Here are some things to be aware of about what's going to be happening. We know that Easter is the last 2 weeks of April. So you've got Good Friday, Easter Monday, Anzac Day, and my birthday all in a 9-day time frame. That's 2 long weekends in a row, which probably means we're not going to be launching campaigns around auctions and opens over that period. There is going to be a Super Saturday, the second weekend of April, and there's also going to be a Super Saturday about 3 weeks into May. What we also know is that at some point we're going to have an election, and that's probably going to fall somewhere in either March or May. And what we know is in previous times that whenever there is an election, people literally press pause and they don't do much. So the economy kind of just goes, look, we're going to wait to see who gets in. Property is also on the agenda, so there's some policies, in particular from Labor, around things like negative gearing and capital gains tax changes that could have an impact on the property market. So really your role as an agent is to understand that maybe we might finish a little earlier, aka auctions more likely the 10th of December, and we're going to need to come back a lot earlier. So we're going to need to be back maybe early January to really start having that conversation with consumers. A lot of people got a lot of apathy towards the end of the year. And so at the end of that, and hopefully a little bit of a break over the Christmas New Year gives them some renewed energy about getting back into property. We've got to start that early because there's only effectively maybe 6 to 7 really good quality auction weekends in the first quarter of that year. And interesting enough, if there is actually an election and that happens in March, then we've got to really make sure that we write great numbers in January and February. Now, the reason why that's important is that if agents don't do much in December, they go on holidays in January, they come back in February, try to get momentum, March you head into election, April you then go and do Easter, by the time you get moving again, that could be May, that could be like half a year gone like that. So this is really important. You've got to start to think about maybe listing plenty of property, so then you can be in a position that you can be selling it prior in January. And how do we make that a great month so then you can really get momentum for February so that if March and April are a little bit softer based on those other conditions, that you're actually in that position for success. Because this is actually what great people do. They look at the calendar ahead and they learn how to navigate those particular situations so then they can go and get that result. Now at the end of the day, we've still got people that are doing all sorts of property transactions, but it's actually up to you to make sure that you're getting more than your fair share, because you're learning how to play the game in a different way to how the competitors play it, so you know exactly what to do, so you just don't get taken by the current of the market, that you actually learn how to be able to get the transactions in the months that you need them, to be writing the income to make sure you actually get the result. At the end of the day, if you're $1 million agent, you've got to write $500,000 in fees in that 6-month period. So what are you going to do to actually get that to happen? Now there's going to be a lot of opportunities, particularly around expired listings. That's going to be people that have got properties that have been on the market for a long period of time that they can't sell. So if that's actually the case, you've got to watch that you don't lose any of your listings to expireds. So you've got to get out there, you've got to re-sign those agency agreements and actually get back in there with a really clear plan of action. At the end of the day, if you are listing all of the existing homes you currently represent, you should be giving that advice to the consumers of what you'd be saying to them if you relisted it today. So learn to navigate the conditions of the day. This is a great period where incredible agents make even more money, because ultimately those agents that are attuned to the market conditions of the day will get swept away. Stay focused, do the great work, and work well ahead of where you're currently at so that you've got the listings to get the sales. I really hope you've enjoyed today's coaching tip, and I look forward to seeing you next week.